Alexandra, it has been a long time. I have not spoken to you, nor expressed my feelings. To see how I feel and watch myself later. This is a video for me to watch later and not watch at the time I am making it. I must refrain to look at the image on the screen and look inside the camera, as it will be more interesting to watch afterwards. Where do we go now? This is a message not for Alexandra, but for someone else. Dear person, whom in my head I have fallen out with. Dear person, who's a lady, you don't know about this and you will not see this, but I want to describe a little bit the situation. And before you tremble in front of the screen, thinking this is you I am talking about, please know it is probably not you I am talking about. I have a habit, dear person, a habit of falling out with others when I feel hurt by their behavior and I am unable to tell them how I feel. This you, dear person, had given me much hope of being a great or a light, a good, possibly good friend of mine. We had similar age, similar ideas about relationships, as in both not seemingly that interested in it, both not having children. Both for the time in life where we are wondering about how to get the best out of ourselves by working on ourselves. Now, dear person, it happened that I opened to you very much about certain things which matter to me, like my past and like some of my experiences that have been out of this world in this life. Mostly an experience which is about 9 months old now. And so did you. You opened up to me a couple of times when we were in the same place. Very deeply, and I felt quite surprised. I don't know if you felt surprised at me opening to you. And when I open up to people, I feel a certain trust settling in, particularly if they open back to me. And you did. So I trusted you. And it happened that you made me a promise which you did not keep. And at the time I thought, oh, she won't do it. But I thought perhaps she will. And it will be nice if she does. But you didn't. You didn't go ahead with what you said you were going to do. And I do not know the reason for that, if the reason is because you ran out of money, or you ran out of interest, or you thought, oh well, I don't need to support her with her business. I don't need to do that. I'll just go to town and buy my presents, wherever I need to buy them. But the time after that, when I saw you, there was no mention of me giving you a list of what I had made, which you may want to buy, which you had asked me for. No mention of that, no mention of how your time of rest was, which is okay, or we don't have to talk about what the past is. And whenever I've come to you several times, I started to refrain giving you back as much as I used to give you in physical terms. And when I saw you again after a month or so of absence, your attitude towards me had changed. You were distant, which is why I did not feel the need to give you physically as much to support you. As it was mostly my only reason to do that, is to make a fuss about you and make you feel you were special. But that time when you looked at me just like bizarrely, a bit, not like I was an alien, but there was a little bit of, why do you want to speak to me? I'm busy, I've got other people to speak to around me, I'll speak to them instead, and I will not bother come to you to speak to you. That's the thing, dear person, is that I was always the one who came to you to speak, abandoning, in that sense, what my interests were, because my interests were not to be near you, but to deal with my own business. And the second time I saw you, same thing, I bought a little trinket. And we didn't really talk. I did do my best to engage, but you were busy and you were a little bit aloof. Maybe you were grumpy, maybe you weren't feeling good that day, nor the day before. And you never came back and spoke to me, which is okay, I understand. But all these little things, you see, dear person, they add up. And after a while, I start cringing inside. And then I realize, actually, I'm hurt. Yes, I do my best to be an adult and not care about whether you're going to go ahead with what you promised or you said you were going to do. That would benefit me. But the lack of the contact, or the lack of explaining why, the lack of warmth towards me when there had been warmth in the past, was something I find really difficult to deal with. Therefore, I felt the need in my head to fall out with you, which means I probably have fallen out with me, as this is what was going to be coming out instead. But this fallen out with you is only manifesting in terms of I do not acknowledge your existence. Saying that the last time I saw you, which was not today, you actually waved at me and I sort of smiled back. As in, it's interesting, we've been on the same location for the last few hours, but none of us, and certainly not you, has made any effort to come to my side to say anything, which is okay. As this time I have made no effort to come to yours. And today I have, indeed, as I just said, just to protect my hurt, or to protect the feeling of hurt, rather. Why do I want to protect my hurt? I don't know. But I just made it look like you didn't exist to me. I even came as close as speaking to someone very close to you, because I thought he'd had a heart operation, and I thought I better go and be nice and find out if he's okay. As it happened, he didn't have the heart operation. But I just didn't want to look at you. I don't want to know you anymore. Why do you act like that? Why do I act like that? And this is the deep secret of the human psyche, which in me has made me suffer for how long as I can remember. I have made myself suffer for so long. And dear person, it's not your fault, it's not my fault, it's none of our fault. We're probably in a mood where we don't want to be there. We'd rather be millionaire on yachts, of course we would. We'd rather not be there working with cold fingers in suddenly a really hot sun. It's a hard work, it's a hard life. We are working class. We are working, I suppose some people say I'm not working class, but I am, because even though I live in a nice place and I'm very lucky, I earn very little, so I cannot put it aside. So I think I'm working class, and we work really hard. Now I've got a couple of days where it's Easter, and I can afford, I think, to have at least a day of weeding in the garden, pulling out nettles, which will make me very happy, so they don't get sprayed with pesticides. and maybe a day where I can do what I want to do. But it is, you know, it's hard when we can't be together. Why don't you come and see me? Why is it so hard? You can live where you are for 30 seconds and joyfully come and say hello, but no. Why? What have I done? Maybe I've said something. Maybe you've heard something I've not gossiped about you, except what I'm doing now, which is, it's not gossip as in, it's not negative. I'm being as just as I can towards myself, so I don't have to watch it and think, oh, I'm such an imbecile, because I don't want that. I want to appear as a person who's reasonable, who, if she can't speak to other people, at least she can speak to herself and try to understand what is happening regarding relating to others. Now, my dear person, I had hopes of being your friend, but it's not going to happen, and in a sense, I am gaining from my behavior of, I don't want to know her, I don't want to know you, I'm not there, fuck off. I must be gaining something. What is it? Is it to confirm my ego that I am not suitable as a human being to be around other humans, so I can feel lesser because I am not popular enough for you to come and see me? Is that the reason why I'm doing that? Is that to confirm my low self-esteem in a sense, which I had today because I was hiding my hands most of the day? I was not able to be strong today. Well, I was this afternoon once. I thought, oh, I don't know them, they're just passing. I won't see them again. I don't need to be ashamed of my hands. But for people who see me all the time, I feel I need to be ashamed. But never mind. It's okay, and it's this ego that is causing the disease. The ego, because we say in other medicines that are on the mainstream that it's the mind that causes the person to be sick physically. It starts in the energy field. So it is something that I'm learning slowly. And this falling out with people, there's someone's birthday tomorrow, Easter Sunday. I don't want to see them because I've fallen out with them. Well, they've fallen out with me as well this time. It wasn't just on my side. But what is this falling out? It so tires me out. And before, I'd fallen out with someone that I worked near, because she'd been really sharp at me for no reason. And today I went to speak to her thinking, oh, she might be nice today. And all she did was just look at me fiercely, saying, in Italy, 90% of those people do not like this Prime Minister. She needs to prove herself. And I was so surprised to hear that, because when she got in power, all we heard was people being relieved to have a non-puppet in power. So, I don't know. So anyway, I left it at that. So I've done my charity for today of being nice with people. I'll go back to my business and just deal with my own business, not mix with others. You know, I wish I was popular. But I can't be, because I can't be myself. I'm looking at my image now. It's quite dark, isn't it? Yes, I can't. It's okay not to be popular, because I don't want to be popular. I've never been so, you know. It's better not to be popular than be over the top, so full of ourselves, so full of ourselves that we stink. We stink of that smell, which is so repulsive to me when other people smell of it. I feel I did a video and deleted it because I felt it was too personal. I feel this relating with two others extremely difficult, and it is because I can't relate to myself in some way. In some way, I wish I could understand, but I will understand it eventually. So, Alexandra, And to the dear persons who think I hate them, I probably don't hate you. Even old Klaus and old Lady Bill Gates, my mate, I don't hate you, I just feel sorry for you. The same way as I feel sorry for myself. We have to have compassion, don't we? You might be billionaires, but you live in fear, just like us. And for that I pity you. But it won't help me to pity you too long, so I'll change my thoughts right this minute. I will take a big breath or a small breath according to Buteyko breathing. And I will watch this and relate to myself and carry on growing into understanding how can I do to like myself more and more every day. And I thank the day today for all the people who have been friendly and others to whom I have been able to say my true feelings. I think of one particularly, and I thank you for not going mad at me when I asked you not to call me babe, not to call me sweetheart. Did I say you then? Not to call me anything else but my name, which is what I want to be called. Unless you want to swear at me, in which case I still would prefer you used my name with any other adjectives that you feel necessary to add in front of it. But this is ego, remember, it's personality and it is a protection.